Hello class, me again, Miss Youstina. This is our fourth lesson. Remember our third lesson? We talked about geometry, and the first two lessons we've been talking about algebra and normal numbers. Today we're gonna talk about also numbers, like no geometry, but it's gonna be a little bit different. It's called statistics. Well, what do we use statistics in? Statistics is more about doing experiments and collecting the numbers into data, graphs, and so on. First, let's know how do we use statistics. Most probably, we will be having the numbers like listed out and grouped out, and we have to put them in order. For example, we'll be having, it's more about experiments, like I told you, for example. And there were two, let's talk about football for boys. There were two players in, what club? Let's say, okay, two players playing at the same time, the same number of matches. For example, Messi and Ronaldo. Okay? Both of them have played 10 matches. Okay? In the first match, this is for Messi and this is for Ronaldo. So, in the first match, Messi scored 2. In the second match, Messi scored 1. In the third match, Messi haven't scored anything. In the fourth match, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Same here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So, the third match, as we said, he scored 0, then 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 1, 3. Okay? And for Ronaldo, he scored 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, and that's it. Okay? So, this is called numbers. I'm putting the numbers. And I want to know more data about the numbers. How do I put them? I don't keep them like that. I keep them in a table. We most probably use tables in statistics, and we use numbers like this in experiment. What do I do with the number? I get a lot of things from the number. We're not going to talk about how to do tables because this is like out of our topic a little bit, but we're going to talk about more about how to graph them and how to use them, how to get other things out of the number. When I have numbers like this, I can use things like mean. I can get these things: mean, mood, and median. What are these? And range. Mean, mood, median, and range. What do they mean? Mean is the same as average. Yani, for example, if I told you I want to know the average goals that Messi has scored in the 10 matches, and I want to know the average goals that Ronaldo has scored in the 10. So this is the mean. The mood is I want to know how much they are repeated. Remember when you say you have mood swings, mood, being happy, being sad, being unable to talk about something, this is a mood. Something that is repeated. Either you have a good mood, which is like every day, or you have a bad mood, which is like rarely. So a mood is something that is repeated. So we use the numbers listed to get the mean, to get the mood, to get the median. Median is the number in the middle. And to get the range. The range is the bigger number minus the smaller number. This is the range. So in statistics is all about using numbers in terms of tables and graphs, as we said. The first thing we're gonna know, as I just said, is knowing how to get the mean, the mode, the median, and the range from such numbers like that. So we're just gonna take every player aside and try to get them. We are gonna save this one. Perfect. So let's see. For example, not example, and the same example. So Messi, this is the game, and this is the goals he scored. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, Game 8, Game 9, and Game 10. What I'm gonna write now is writing the numbers that I took, or the records that I've taken for Messi's playing and Messi's goal in something called the frequency and tally. What's a frequency and what's a tally? Is writing. Of course, you've seen such a thing. For example, Messi have scored 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. So let's write it. It's 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. And then he scored 3, 0, 1, 1, 3. He scored 3. Let's rewrite that in another way. 3, 0, 1, 1, 3. 1, 3. This is Mr. Scoring in a way of tally. Tally is writing, frequency is writing it that way, just writing the numbers. Tally is using lines, and when I complete a 5, for example, if he had 5 goals at the same, I just write 4 and cross out the 5th one like that. Tally helps out that by eye, you can just correlate and relate the number. I just see, oh, it's 2, no need for it, make it easier for my mind. For example, if I have someone playing basket, which is easy to score, and he scored in a game 20. So what's easy to write with? It's easy to write it with a tally. I can do it like that. So it's 4 5s, which is 20. That's a tally way of writing. So returning back to our example. That's what Messi scored. Okay? What did we want to get? We want to get the median, the mode, the mean, and the range. So let's recall, what are they again? The median is the one in the middle, and it has a certain criteria that we need to fit. The mode is the one mostly repeated. The mean is the average, and we will gonna know how to get it. And the range is the bigger one minus the smaller one. Okay? How do we do that? First, we need to order them. We need to put them in order, from the least to the biggest. So I need to order these numbers that I've just taken, these numbers, into from smallest to the biggest. It's 3. From smallest to the biggest. So what was the first thing he scored, or what was the least thing he scored? He scored 0. And he scored another 0. So he has scored 2 times zeros. Then, how many ones did he score? 1, 2, 3, 4. He scored 4 ones. And what's after that? He scored 1 times 2. We cross out, what did we write? This is what we wrote. Then he scored 2 times 2 and 2 times 3. He scored 2 times 2 and 2 times 3. Make sure that we've written the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the 10 games he played and how much did he score. After writing them in order, we can easily get these. For example, let's start with the range, which is the easiest. We said the range is the bigger number minus the smaller number. What's my biggest number? It's 3. What's my smallest number? Is 0. So my range equals 3. Okay? Okay. What about the mean? No, leave the mean now. What about the mode? The mostly repeated. I have many things repeated. I have the 0 repeated, the 1s repeated, the 2s and the 3s. But which one of them is the most repeated? It's the 1. They repeated 4 times. So my mood here will be 1. What about the median? The median is the one in the middle. But I told you there is some criteria that we need to fit. What is the criteria we need to fit? We need to order them. I have to get the median after ordering. That's why we order from the first beginning, before solving anything. So, here, what's my median? I crossed out the numbers. I'm gonna cross this one. Oh, I just removed it, sorry. I'm gonna cross this one, cross this one. Let's cross it with the white. And I'm gonna cross these. Cross one with one, one with one. I'm left out with 2 1s. 2 1s. If I'm left out with 2 numbers, how can I get the median? The median has to be 1 number. How do I get the median? I'm gonna get their average, which is our mean, but on a smaller scale. How do we get the mean? Mean is add all, divide, and then after adding all, then divide by how much? What does that mean? Let's see. Add all. Add all. I have here, I'm left out with 1 and 1. 1 and 1. So I'm gonna add them. That's all what I have. So it's gonna be 2. 1 plus 1 would be 2. 1 plus 1 would be 2. And then divide by how much? So divide, what's the meaning of how much? How many numbers do I have? I have only 2 numbers, right? It's 1 and 1. So it's gonna be divided by how much? Like how much numbers, how many numbers do I have? Which is 2. So it's 2 divided by 2 is 1. So my average of the left out these to be able to define the median is 1. So my median is 1. We're gonna do the same example again. So, and finally, what do I have to get? I have to get the mean, my mean. Let's remove all of this to be able to get our mean because it needs a lot of work. Good. Perfect. I like this one a lot. So, my mean. We said that add all and divide by how much or how many. Let's go for how many. So I'm gonna add all. So I'm gonna add the 0 plus a 0 plus 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4 plus 2 and 2 is 4. 3 and 3 is 6. Instead of just writing 3 plus 3 or plus 2, no, we just can make it a little bit shorter. So 0 plus 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4, plus 4, so 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. So that's add all. And the second step is divided by how much? How much is them? How much? They're 10. Remember, 10 matches? So over 10. 10 divided by 14 is 1.4. So this is the average of how much he scores over a match. So 1.4. And since the scoring, it's either 1 or none, so we can say it's approximately 1. So as if approximately he scores 1 goal in a match. This is how we do it. We're just gonna remove everything here and do it for Ronaldo. We're done with Messi. We knew that the average score, remember that, and we're gonna see which one is better. The average score of Messi is 1. Let's go and see Ronaldo. So for Ronaldo, we're gonna do the same. So this is the game and this is the goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Going back, he scored 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. He scored 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. After that, he scored 5, 0, 1. And then he scored 5, 5, 0, and 1. Five, 0, and 1. Okay? What do we want to get? We want to get the mood, the median, the range, and the mood, median, range, and mean. The mean one. Mean the mean. So, let's go. First, we made a deal that first we need to rewrite the numbers in order. Right? So let's rewrite the numbers in order. So I have 2 times 0. Well, it's 3 times 0. 0, 0, 0. 3 times 0. Oh. 3 times 0. And I have 3 times 1s. 1, 1, 1. I have 3 times 1s. And I have 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4, and 1 times 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's make sure that they are 10 and we haven't missed a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Let's remove this, dots. So, okay. Let's start with the easy one. What's the easy one? The range, which is the bigger minus the smaller. So it's gonna be 5 minus 0, which is 5. Perfect. And then the mood. What's the most repeated one? We have 3 zeros and 3 ones, so we write both. So the mood is 0 and 1. That's the most repeated. What about the median? The median is the one in the middle. So we cross out from the sides until we reach the middle one. And it's because it's 10, so we're gonna have to do the same thing as for Misty. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're also left with 1 and 1. So we're just get their mean. How to get their mean? Add all, divide by how many? So we're gonna 1 plus 1 over 2. It's gonna be 2 over 2, which is 1. So their median equals 1. What about the mean? The mean of the whole numbers then. We're gonna add them. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1, 2, 3, 3 plus 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 2, sorry. 2, 3, 4, and 5. 0, 0, 0 is 0. 0 plus 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. Plus 2 is 5. Plus 3 is 8. Plus 9. 8 plus 9 is 17. So 17, this is the all. This is add all. What about divided by how much? Over 10, which is 1.7. So when we approximate it, so it's gonna be almost 2, because we said a goal, it's 1 or none. So it's gonna be at 2. So the average of Ronaldo is 2, which is better than Messi, and he wins. That's how we get the mood, the median, the range, and the mean. Very easy. The most tricky one is the mean, and I think we made it an easy one. We just add all, and then we divide it by how many do I have from the numbers. Okay? So after we knew about the numbers and we understood how to do the tally, okay, and the frequency that we write it just in a table like the one we wrote here that's a frequency, saying in each one how many did we take, how many did we have. So we're just gonna jump out into a different thing. We are gonna jump out into something called the probability. The probability of something might happen or something might not happen, okay? So let's first understand what's a probability. We can just remove all of this. Thank you. And remove all of this. Thank you. I think no need for this one. So we're going into page 1. The probability. What's the meaning of a probability? For example, if I'm having a packet, okay? In this packet, I have dollars and I have pounds. So this packet is, I just can't open and just search around what's in it. I just have to pick it up randomly. If I have $5 and I have 3 pounds, okay? So what, and I asked you a question, what would be my probability of picking up the $3? 3 pounds, I mean. Picking up 1 pound out of them all. I need to pick up 1, right? Okay. How many do I have overall? I have 8. Like 8 money, 8 coins. It's their coins. I have 8 coins. Okay? How many do I have from the pounds? Let's say it like another way. Let's say it in a different way. How much I'm gonna pick? I'm just gonna pick 1, right? Just picking 1, right? Okay. How much, from how much is there? How many dollars do I have? I have 8 overall. $5 plus 3 pounds. So they're like overall they're 8, right? How many pounds do I have? I have 3 pounds. I'm gonna pick 1, but still I have 3 chances that I can take them. So it's 3 over 8. That's the chances, that's the probability that I might pick up a pound, because it's either a pound or a dollar. And I have 3 pounds. So I have 3 chances out of the 8 chances to pick up a pound, right? So my chance or my probability for picking up a pound is 3 out of 8. Because I have 3 chances of picking up a pound. I have another question. If I have a pack and I told you I have 5 balls, 3 of them is white, 1 is green, and 1 is colorless. So I told you and I asked you a question. What's the probability of choosing the colorless one? The colorless one. So how many colorless do I have? I have only 1. And how many times I'm gonna pick it? I can pick randomly. But I have only 1. So it's 1 out of how many do I have? Out of 5. So this is my probability of picking up a colorless one. So if I'm going to choose for a colorless, that would be the probability. What about if I want to choose a white? And I haven't chosen this because we're going to talk about that. Still, I took 1 and it went for a colorless. So my probability of a colorless was 1 over 5. And then I return it back. So I still have 5 here. What would be the probability of getting a white one? It would be 3 over 5 because I have 3 whites. So my probability of getting a white one would be 3 over 5. What's my probability of having a green one? It would be 1 over 5. I think it's now easy to be able to know how to get a probability, how to calculate a probability. It's very easy. Remember when we talked in our first lesson about the diffraction, eating one piece out of 5, the same thing. I just pick up one out of a lot. Okay. Now I have a question. If I have something called a cumulative probability, what's the meaning of a cumulative probability? It means that my probability is, I don't return back what I take. For example, like we have, that's white, that's white, that's white, that's green, that's red, that's red. Okay. Return back the white because we need the white. Okay? So, let's add another one. I'll make it white. So, here, if I told you, what would be the probability of picking up a red and not returning it back? It would be 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm not returning it back. What would be the probability of a white after that? Remember that I have removed the red. So I'm no longer left with 9 balls. I'm left with 8. So I choose it dependingly on the 8. If it's 4 white, I have 4 whites out of what's left out, which will be 8. So this is what we call a probability that's built behind each other. So that's all about probability that you should know. The thing that we want to add about it is like experimental versus theoretical probability. Experimental versus theoretical. Let's see. What does it mean? Let's remove everything here and talk about it. If we have a bag and the bag has 10 red marbles and 30 blue marbles. Okay? So what will be the probability of me having a red marble? As we said, it's 10 marbles that I can take out of the total ones, which will be 40. So this is my probability. This is what this should be. This is like the normal thing, is to have 10. This is my probability, 10 out of 40. And if we have further more simplification, it will be 1 out of 4. So my probability is quarter. This is what it should be. This is called the theoretical. I haven't tried it out. I haven't tried to pick it out. So this is what it should be. This is what math say. So this is the theoretical probability. Well, I've done an experiment and I have figured out that when I tried this experiment for 20 times, I have picked 30. What's a 30? When I have tried this for 20 times, I have picked the red for 13 times and the blue for 7 times. Okay? So when I did an experiment for 20 times this, like I tried it 20 times, I got it 13 and 7. So what will be my probability now for red? My probability now for red is, let's say that we tried it for 40 times first, because to make it a little bit easier. If I tried the experiment for 40 times, I've received 33 times red and 7 times blue. This is for blue, this is for red. So actually in real life as an experiment, like I take off and I repeat, I take it off and I repeat, and take it off and I repeat, and so on. How many times did I get the red? 33 out of 40. This was my real experimental probability that the red, I got it more than the blue, and I got 7 out of 40 for the blue. Unlike the expected ones, which was supposed to be 10 out of 40 and 30 out of 40 for the blue. And this is for the red. So in experimental probability, this was the real life experimental outcome that I have taken. So this is what we call experimental probability. And this is the theoretical probability. And actually we have something called the probability percent, the experimental probability percent, which is the experimental over the theoretical times 100. Which in our case is 33 over 10 times 100, which will be 33 over 10 is 3.3 times 100, which is 330%. This is my probability of having red theoretical versus experimental. Again, how did we get this? Again, let's do it again. How can we get the percent? We get the percent by dividing the experimental over the theoretical. What was my experimental probability? 33. What was my theoretical? 10 times 100. 33 divided by 10 is 3.3 times 100 means I'm gonna move this decimal twice to the left. So it's gonna be 330. That is the percent of my experiment versus my theoretical, because my experiment is way bigger than what I expected as a mathematical way of solving probability. So that's it with the probability. Now for the last thing about this lesson, it is the sampling, doing a sample. Well, to be not biased, I have to understand that when I do a sample is like I make a test, a random test. The test should be random. I have three different variables. One is called the dependent variable. One is called the independent variable. And one is called the control. Okay? The control is what I do not change. The control is what I do not change all over, or instead of saying it as a control, because let's say it's the tested variable. No, it's a controlled one. It's a controlled one. The controlled. Because the dependent is our tested. The controlled is what never changes throughout the sample, or throughout the experiment, or throughout what I'm trying to test. Never change. And the independent is the one that I change. The dependent is what I test. Let's take an example. If I have a road, okay, and I have two cars. I have a Tesla car and I have not a Tesla. I have a Ferrari, for example, and I have a Verna car. And I want to test how much time are they gonna take to finish this road. Okay? So what is the thing that I change is this one, the cars, the types of the cars. So my independent variable is the types of the cars. So here in my experiment, the independent variable is the types of cars. What I don't change ever, what's the controlled variable? The controlled variable is how long is the street that you're gonna pass, which is, for example, 1 kilometer. So my controlled variable is length of road, right? What's the dependent variable? Is the time. The time they're gonna take. This is what it depends. It depends on the independent. It depends on the type of the car. That's why we call it a dependent variable. So the dependent variable is the time they will take. The cars will take. For example, we say that the Ferrari takes 3 seconds and the Verna takes 10 seconds. So it's this what we test, the time, which is the dependent, the time it takes that we test. This is our tested. So that's an example of independent, controlled, and dependent that we find in an experiment or in a sample. Continuing the sampling, sample is to take something random. So a sample must be random. Why do we take the sample? Because we already did it throughout the experiment when we choose and we pick up something from the bag. So it has to be random. It has to be inconvenient, because a convenient sample is a sample that I choose, I play a role, I'm biased to it. What's the meaning of bias? I'm playing a role to lead to such a result. I don't leave it to be taken as it is. No. That's the difference in samples. So a sample, it has to be unbiased, it has to be not taken for granted, it has to be random, and it has to be, and from the sample I collect the data that we learned how to get the mean, mood, median, and range. So at the end of our lesson, what have we taken? We talked about our statistics, how to do statistics, how to collect them, how to put them in a table, and how to calculate the mean, the mood, the range, and the median, how to calculate the probabilities, how to know an experimental and a theoretical, how to put them over each other, and the samples and the variables in the samples. So, wish to see you and good luck with the other lessons. Thank you.